Reading from Subala Canto 5, Chapter 13, Text 10. Karismachit Sutra Samvichitvam Tanmakshikabhilyatito Himanaha Tatrati Kritsra Pratilabdhamano Balat Viluppanti Adatam Tato Khari Samachit. Sometimes Shudra, very insignificant, Rasan, sexual enjoyment, within one, searching for. Okay. Rasan, sexual enjoyment, within one, searching for. That of those women, Makshikabhi, by honeybees, or the husbands of family members. Yatitaha, very much aggrieved. Vimana, insulted. Tatra, in that. Ati, very much. Krishra, with difficulty because of spending money. Pratilabdhamanaha, obtaining sexual enjoyment. Bala, by force. Vilumpati, kidnap. Ata, thereafter, tam, the object of sense enjoyment. The women. Tataha, from him, and another debauchee. Translation, purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Sometimes, in order to enjoy a little insignificant sex enjoyment, one searches after debauched women. In this attempt, one is insulted and chastised by the women's kinsman. This is like going to take honey from a beehive and being attacked by the bee. Sometimes, after spending lots of money, one may acquire another woman for some extra sense enjoyment. Unfortunately, the object of sense enjoyment, the woman, is taken away or kidnapped by another debauchee. Sometimes, please repeat it. Sometimes, in order to have little insignificant sex enjoyment, one searches after a debauched woman. In this attempt, one is insulted and chastised by the woman's kinsman. This is like going to take honey from a beehive and being attacked by the bees. Sometimes, after spending lots of money, one may acquire another woman for some extra sense enjoyment. Unfortunately, the object of sense enjoyment, the woman, is taken away or kidnapped by another debauchee. In the great forest, honeycombs are very important. People often go there to collect honey from the combs. And sometimes, the bees attack and punish them. In human society, those who are not Krishna conscious remain in the forest of material life simply for the honey of sex life. Such debauchees are not at all satisfied with one wife. They want many women. Day after day, with great difficulty, they try to secure such women. And sometimes, while trying to taste this kind of honey, one is attacked by the woman's kinsman and chastised very heavily. By bribing others, one may secure another woman for enjoyment, yet another debauchee may kidnap her or offer her something better. This women hunting is going on in the forest of material world, sometimes illegally and sometimes illegally. Consequently, in Krishna consciousness movement, the devotees are forbidden to have illicit sex. Thus, they avoid so many difficulties. One should remain satisfied with one woman being newly married. One can satisfy one's lusty desire with his wife without creating disturbance in society and being punished for doing so. Omagyanatimirandasya jnananjanashakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayan Kadati Svaradantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Gavadakamadam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagadam Sagadanatha Vidamdam Sajjati Karvedam Savadutam Pariyan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagarita Shri Vishadvamitam Hey Krishna Karana Sangho Dīnabandho Jagatpate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Deshamanushree Devi Namami Hare Chakravarti Virashya Kripasindhu Virashya Parilamam Bhavine Vaishnave Namo Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Siddhavadi Mashadi Devasatara Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So all males are for this topic. So we are at the chapter Canto 5 of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 13, where Jada Bharat is speaking to Maharaj Raghugara about the material existence. Actually, if you in this chapter everything is mentioned, everything that you are going through in life, or you are yet to go through, every ingredient of material life is broken down by Maharaj, Jada Bharat. He's giving in a very allegorical way, in the form of story, in the forest. And every example is also, the answer is given in the next chapter. 5. So these two chapters, 5:13, 5:14. For example, when they say mosquitoes are biting you in the forest, so what that means, that answer is given in the 5:14. So just to give you a summary of the entire thing, at least 27 things are mentioned. In our lifetime, we see all these things. So a few weeks ago, I tried to do a summary. I went through the 5:13, 5:14. I tried to match what's this, what's the meaning, what is this. Of course, in the purport of this verse also, each verse proper is giving the meaning of the items. So now the beginning begins with the merchant. All of us are like businessmen. So we are trying to do business in the forest. We're going into the forest. The forest is a very dangerous place. So now, in this verse, of course, the merchant is trying to find some honey. And what is that honey? The honey is considered to be in sex life. So it's very difficult to get honey. You climb. Of course, now there are many artificial means of making honey and they're cheating the bee also. So those days, they had to climb the big mountain caves and all, the honey will be there and then it will come and sting you. So that is like trying to get some sex enjoyment. So the businessman in this verse is trying to enjoy some sex pleasure. And in summary, what is mentioned here in the verse by Jada Bharat, it is like searching after sex enjoyment with a debauched woman, unchaste woman. Because you cannot search sex pleasure from a chaste woman. They are not going to be outside on the road in the middle of the night showing their bodies, right? So you specifically need to find women who are in the mode of ignorance, who are addicted to that kind of things also. So where do you find them in this modern context? When you go clubbing, right? So I remember when I was teenager, I try to, during national service, all my friends are going clubbing. So I went about 2 times just to see what is going on. And after 2 times, I concluded everybody is here for one reason only: sex life. Nothing else. You think you're going to clubbing to have some nice philosophical conversation in the dark. They are trying to just touch and feel the bodies of others. And I found it very shallow. You go there, get the women drunk, you also get drunk. And what you want to do, you want to enjoy it. And then when you come out of the club, when the light is on, you see the women look something else. And you get shocked. So many, within 1 or 2 times I understood that this whole thing is about sex life. The end goal. So not only this clubbing, if you look at our life, unless if you are a devotee, right? Somebody wrote a nice comment actually on YouTube, I saw. Everything is a very long pornography movie. You understand? Every movie that you watch, happily ever after that what happens? Unrestricted sex life happens. Right? Everything here you see, guys going to do this, do that, and everything is centered around this. Janmaitunadi grihamedi sukham hi tucham. See this verse. 7:9:45, very famous verse. Janmaitunadi grihamedi sukham hi tucham kandu janeno karayo ippa dukkha dukkam triptyanti neha krivana bahu dukkha bhaja kandu vivan manasvicham visheda dhiraha. Sex life is compared to the rubbing of 2 hands to relieve an itch. Grahamadis, the so-called grihasthas, who have no spiritual knowledge, think that itching is the greatest platform of happiness. Although it is a source of distress, the kripanas, the fool who are just the opposite of brahmanas, are not satisfied by repeated sensuous enjoyment. Those who are dhira, however, who are sober, who tolerate these itchings, are not subjected to the suffering of fools and rascals. So it's just an itching sensation, and everyone in the material world is coming after this. This is the goal of life for the karmis. So as the person wrote, everything is a long pornographic movie in the end. So this merchant now, he's going in the forest. So before I start on the topic, I want to give a summary of what everything means. Okay. The merchant is walking into the forest. So what is the first thing he meets in the first verse of the Bhagavatam? We see that he meets plunderers. There are 6 plunderers who attack him. You know who are the 6 plunderers? Anyone know who are the plunderers? Who are the 6 plunderers? The uncontrolled senses. The 5 senses including the mind. So the senses are telling all this enjoyment, do this, do that, do it. So we are wasting so much time getting plundered. Your wealth is getting plundered. Your wealth of human life, which is meant for Brahma Jignasa, Athada Brahma Jignasa, this time is gone because the senses are roaming around wildly. Right? Then after that he meets the jackals in the forest. So who are the jackals, They are the family members. They are maintaining the relationship with you only for money. You saw some relatives like that. When you got money, they are with you. When you got no money, finish. Nobody comes and support you. Recently, I know about someone. Their father passed away, and they needed help from the relatives to do the funeral, and not even one of the relatives helped them in the funeral. Can you imagine? If you are thinking these are your relatives, your whole life you live thinking my friends, my family, my relative. Actually, everybody is only selfish about their own needs. And they are associating with you because they want your money. And you got no money, you won't see them anymore. And why people are so much pressured to do all these big weddings in India? Recently, we had the Ambani's son's wedding. Of course, he's a billionaire, so he's just spending maybe 10 of our wealth, of his wealth. He's billionaire, his worth is billions. So he spent, let's say, 100 million, that is maybe about 10%. But we are spending 30-40% of our wealth to do these big grand weddings. Why? Because it's not about the wedding, it's about showing off to the relatives. Who are like jackals? Now you see many Red Bull videos, you know Red Bull? They do a lot of crazy stunts, jumping from the mountain, flying with a wingsuit. Everything they are doing nice. Skiing, jumping from the ski, they're breaking so many world records. But why are you having the GoPro camera with you? Because doing the stunt is not as pleasurable as showing to the world, I'm the best. The camera is there in the hand just to show, see what I did. So the idea to show off to others, to get our ego boost, it is very pleasurable. Now let's say I have the latest iPhone. If I have no one to show off to, I feel bored. No? Right? This is exactly what Arjuna said in the Gita. If I kill my relative, then who I will enjoy with? He's not trying to enjoy. He's trying to say, if I have all this wealth, I can show off. Of course, Arjuna is not showing off, but it's just one of his arguments. Duryodhana was very upset. When Duryodhana, 14 years, Pandavas went to Vanavas, right? 13 years, sorry. When he was ruling, when he was not a king, he was very upset, right? He was very envious of the Pandavas, correct? But when Pandavas were not there, he was even more burning with envy. Why? Because now I have the wealth, I cannot show off to my relative. I cannot look down at them. In the war, what happened? When Bhishmadev has departed, the next person was Dronacharya. So one day, Duryodhana was a very good boy. He told Dronacharya, I don't want to kill the Pandavas. You just do one thing for me, you capture Yudhishthira. If Yudhishthira is captured, the war is finished. He's the king. No, I won't harm them, I won't kill them. You anyway don't want to kill. You also say you don't want to kill. Bhishmadev said you don't want to kill. So better that you don't kill, you just catch him. Then on that day, Dronacharya felt how come this guy is talking like this? So suddenly he is reforming, suddenly he is improving. Maybe he had, he's associating with Yudhishthira, he's getting better, in his character. Then you know what Duryodhana said? He said, no, don't think I'm a good guy. Because I saw them suffer, right, in the Vanavas. If they die, who I will show off my wealth to? I want to see them suffer continuously until they become old men. I want to see them suffer. You see how evil this guy is. So keep them alive. I will show all the world belongs to me, all the wealth belongs to me. So this is the position of relatives, the jackals. Then you have the tigers, the foxes. You are trying to protect your sheep. All these are taken away. The jackal is taking away. The tiger is taking away. So they are taking away all your wealth. And who is this? The wife and children. You earn the money, wife and children, plunder it. Of course, it's your responsibility to take care of wife and children. I'm talking about a family which is not a grihastha. You must change your perspective. I'm talking about a materialistic family here. So the son will take away the father and mother money, everything, wipe it off. Then after that, he goes into the forest, he's tired, everything. He saw this big city, Gandharvapuram. It's an imaginary city he's seeing. So that is the mind's false vision. Oh, things will get better next time. Maybe next year my life will be better. He sees the astrologer, he says, oh nice, Guru is coming to this place, now he's going to get well. So he's imagining something nice is going to happen. This is called phantasmagoria. So he's always planning for something like a mirage. And running after the mirage. Illusion. And you go there, the mirage is, the water is not there. Then he sees the mosquitoes. So who are these mosquitoes? These are low class men. When you're doing work in the office, okay, you're working in the office, or somebody is doing business, you have to meet a lot of low class men. And then they will tell you why you are doing like that. They will try to steal your money, they will try to attack you, they will try to talk bad about you to the boss. So while you're trying to get that money, you're getting all these low-class mosquitoes biting you, right? Then you also see ghosts in the forest. Who's the ghost? The ghost is the material desire. You know the verse Pisachi Paile? What is that verse? Mati Channa Hoy. Maya Krishna. So this ghost is the material desire. We are like actually like ghostly haunted, all of us. Why? Because we are running after the material desire, we are forgetting Krishna. So all of us are ghostly haunted. But you know the first two Alvar, he's called Pei Alvar, Bhutat Alvar. You know what does that mean? Pei means ghost. Bhuta also means ghost. Why the Alvar name is also ghost? Because they are ghostly haunted by Krishna. They want to get Krishna prem. They are they are madly haunted to get a lot of love for Godhead. But we are madly haunted for material desire. Then he gets, his eyes are blinded by the dust. So what is this dust? The desire for material possession, the desire for illicit sex. He makes the wife the center of attraction of the family. So just to please his wife and because if he pleases his wife, he will get sex life. You know, there are many people who are angry because their wife are not providing them sex. So they get very frustrated and big problems in family. So that is the dust that covers the eyes. Then he hears the sounds of cricket and owl. You know, the forest has very loud sounds of cricket. So what is this owl and cricket? This is the sounds of the people who are envious of you. You know, when somebody is very direct, they'll talk to you face to face. I don't like this about you. But many people will gossip behind your back. And that is the cricket. You hear the sound, somebody is talking about you, this, but you don't know who is talking. So there are many people like that who talk, they say Prajal Pare, who talk behind the back. So this is considered crickets. You see, when there's a conversation between the Lord and Arjuna, what happened? The Bhagavad Gita was born. When there was a conversation between Bhishma Dev, Yudhishthira, Vishnu Sahasranam was born. Right? Like that we can list so many. When conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, that is the birth of our philosophy, Gauriya philosophy. Whatever he spoke in 10 days to Sanatana Goswami, after that Rupa Goswami, right? In Prayag, in Dasasvamedaka, those days, whatever they heard from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was translated in all the literatures we have today. So this is how great souls, when they talk, this is what you get. But when we are in materialistic consciousness, then we will be gossiping. There's a saying in the internet, no? Small minds speak about people. Average mind speaks about the events. And the great minds speak about ideas. But the greatest of minds speak Bhagavad Gita. We are not interested in ideas also. So this is how the devotees, you can see the difference. So these are the crickets compared to the devotees. So the owls are considered to be the government's official who plunder your lands. So also owls are people who talk very harshly to you. Let's say you become devotee. Somebody will come and speak harshly. Why you become devotee? What you are trying to do to your child? Why you are not giving him meat? How you will get strength? As if they are so interested in your son's protein intake like that. Why you are not sending him to school? So like this, they will give you advice, like owls. Then after that, you see in the forest, you'll see impious trees. Trees which, pious trees give you nice fruit, nice fragrance, nice flowers. Impious trees are trees, all thorny. They are like charitable people. I mean, not charitable, they are rich people. But they don't give you any donation. Sometimes you approach people, please donate for temple building. They have made billions, but they won't give you. So these people are considered to be like the impious trees. Then you see mirage. Again, mirage. Mirage is considered to be sense gratification. You think that if I get this sense gratification, if I don't get this sense gratification, I'll be depressed. If I get this, I'll be happy. But after getting it also, you're not happy. Right? Tatala Saikati, Bari Bindu Sama. Suttamita Ramani Samaje. Vidyapati Yasam. That you are searching for that drop of water in the desert. Your heart is burning like a hot desert. And one drop of water, is it going to satisfy the desert? That is like sense gratification. Sense gratification is everywhere. I don't know the words, but Prabodhananda Saraswati, he sung in one song. He said that material life, sense gratification is like the ocean. There is water everywhere, but I cannot drink. Can you drink salt water? What will happen when you drink salt water? You'll get more thirsty. So even though I'm surrounded by ocean, I cannot enjoy it because sense gratification is like that. Then he saw the family, the forest fire. Suddenly in the forest there's a big fire. What is that? This is the family life, materialistic household life. The troubles and problems you face in family life, one after another will come. And then you have problems with your wife, your sister, your brother-in-law. You see the serials that they show on TV. It's all about family, this fight, that fight only. And people like to watch it. And because people like to watch this, people like to make also. You know why they're not making Bhagavad Gita? Because nobody likes to watch. Then you see Yakshas. Who are the Yakshas? Yakshas are the representative of Kubera. Kubera, god of wealth, right? So these Yakshas are like the government officials. They come and you earn so much money, you're happy. Suddenly you see one huge tax bill will come, income tax. Rental will increase like anything, right? So many of you are you're honestly doing your livelihood and the government will give so many GST, this one, inflation, that one, and they will take all your money. That's the Yaksha. Cannot be peaceful. You're always thinking how to survive now. Then after that there is again controversy, temporary relief. These are the dreams that we have. I'm dreaming about what's going to happen. Then after you climb the hill, big hills. What is the hills? It is considered to be the household ceremonies. Because I was talking about marriages as well, not weddings. To do all these weddings, you need money. You need the support of relatives. Sometimes your relative will not support. You get angry. I remember when I was, before coming to temple, around 20 years old. That time I was just starting to come. So I was in association with relatives and family members. Then my uncle, he organized some chalet. And then I didn't turn up. I think my sister, nobody turned up. And then big message on WhatsApp group coming. You know how much we are spending so much difficulty to organize family gatherings. You all don't care about family, this and that. So he's like climbing a big hill and but we are not going because we know what he will do there. He will eat meat, right? So you don't want to eat, don't want to go. So there's climbing the hills are like these family functions, doing some big ceremonies to show off. So, Then there is Python. The Python is coming. What the Python? This is sleep. Python is represent. You are feeling lazy. Some days you are just feeling lazy, don't do anything. Then there is snake bites. Snake is biting. These are the enemies attacking you. There is also the internal enemies and all external enemies. And then there is a dark well. You fall into the dark well. This is your heart. This is very troubled. Depression. Then the honeybee. Now we come to the honeybee. This is trying to steal another man's wife and then getting attacked by the lover. Trying to not only wife, you try to enjoy the property, try to cheat the government. Maybe you do some. I have a friend. We have a friend who tried to evade the government, cheated the government, and then went 2 to 3 years in jail. He's somebody we met in Zaksala machine. So he tried to cheat the government, he got caught. He was doing some schemes, the CPA or something he was doing. He got caught. Then after that, there's miseries from nature, natural disasters. In the forest, there's too much rain, too much heat. You cannot control this. And then you have to face beg, borrow, steal, insults. You have to face a lot of insults. Sometimes you got no money, you have to beg. And once you go and beg, you get insulted. Then there is difficulties. Then there is giving up the dead and accepting the newborn. So sometimes you are very sad that your family member is going away. Then after a new family member comes, you think that your grandfather has born now as your child. So like then you are having some illusion. Oh, this is my grandfather. Then you give the grandfather name also. So you don't see that there's a change. People are going, people are dying, but I won't die. You are thinking I am permanent. Right? What is the verse? Is there a Ahani Ahani Bhutani Gachanti Yamayalayam Shesha Stavaram Gachanti Kimascharya Param. You think that everyone will die, I won't die. This is the most wonderful thing. Yudhishthira is telling to Yamaraj. Then there's also great warriors who failed in the forest. This is the iron mind consciousness, false ego. Then there's creepers. The creeper is the wife. Creepers are very soft. So the wife is very supportive, even in your difficult times. I'm talking about chaste wife. Then there is lions. Who's the lion? There is time. Time will bring everything to end. So another 3 more to go. Then you see the cranes and vultures. Who are these cranes and vultures? The bogus gurus. Also the shallow rivers. The shallow rivers is also considered bogus gurus. Because when you jump in the shallow river, your head will break. You think it's deep. So they cheat you. They act like they're guru. And then they take a lot of money from you. Say, oh, you want blessing. You know, there's one guru, Vishwananda. He puts the Sri Vaishnava Tilak and acts like a guru. But this guy is a big rascal. He raped many of the boys. He said one of the boys was testifying on YouTube. They took out the video from YouTube. You know? They paid a lot of money to take it out. So this boy said, the guru told him, if you want to satisfy me to the full, then you let me exploit you sexually. So this is like the crane and vulture. You acting like guru, but then you sexually exploit your disciples. He's thinking, he's acting like he's Vishnu. He's putting Tulasi on his feet also. He's going to hell 100%. If not for that, for everything else also. So these cranes and vultures can misdirect us from spiritual life. We want to know what is the meaning of life. We come to know from a guru. Of course, you are also foolish to surrender to such a guru because you're not sincere. So then the guru will misdirect you from the real purpose of life. Then after that, you see from cranes to swans. The swans will come. Sometimes from the fake guru, you come to the real guru. So you're fortunate to be saved by the real guru. Then suddenly you go to the monkeys. Sometimes you are in devotee association, then suddenly you fall down. You don't want to come anymore. Then you ended up in the wrong guru camp. So this is how you leave the guru. And then you fall down. And then these monkeys are like the sutras. Because sutras are addicted to sense gratification, right? So this guru is so much addicted to sense gratification, he also tell you, don't worry, you can, what is the problem? You eat outside, also no problem. You can eat chocolate, you can smoke. You just take my name only. Then you fall down even further. Then falling into the cave and crushed by the elephants. What is that? You fall into the cave and crushed by elephant. This represents the transmigration of the soul. One body of another body of another body. That's like monkeys jumping one tree to another branch, right? You're jumping on it. And finally, all these can be ended by practicing bhakti. So basically there are 28 items mentioned here. And in these 28 items, we are going through everything in different lifetimes. Of course, you may even go through all 28 in this life also. A very high possibility, we are living in Kali Yuga. But this is the ingredients. So we want to make happy life here, home sweet home. But this is the 28 things that you are going through every life. So now let's come back to the verse which talks about what is the problem you're going through today. Right? It is said here that in today's verse, so you are trying to enjoy the honey now, honeycomb. So in order to enjoy little insignificant sex enjoyment, one searches after debauched woman. So I was saying, you cannot enjoy sex life with a chaste woman. You need to find a woman who is unchaste. Right? In this attempt, one is insulted and chastised by the women's kinsmen. So this problem is not only in the earth, You must understand this is also happening in heavenly planets. Don't think that the heaven is free of sex life. They are even more unrestricted. You know how the story of Soma. Krishna is coming in the Chandra Vamsha, right? But you know what is the start of the story? So the Brahma has 7 children. Manasaputra, right? Atri, Angiras, Pulaha, Pulastya, Kratu, Vashishta. What's the other one? Savar. Who's the other? I mentioned 6 names. Kashyapa, not one of the 7. There's another one. No, actually, yeah, Kashyapa. Sorry. Kashyapa. So 7 of them. Sorry, not Kashyapa. Marichi. Yeah, 7. Sorry, Kashyapa is not one of the 7 Saptarishi. He comes in another category. So Marichi, Attiri, Angiras, Pulastya, Pulaha, Kratu, Vashishta, Bhrigu. No, this 7 is different. Bhrigu is another category. So now, like Atri, from Atri Rishi comes Soma from his tears. So his wife is Anasuya. So he has 3 children with her. So these 3 children represents Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. So Durvasa Muni, one of the child, is representation expansion of Shiva. Soma represents the Brahma, and Dattatreya represents Vishnu. So when he had tears in his eyes, he impregnated. So he is such a powerful rishi. He doesn't need to impregnate the wife with semen, just with tears he impregnated. And Soma was born. And Soma was very powerful. He conquered the 3 worlds. And he was doing a big Rajasuya sacrifice. And he got so lusty, he went after his guru's wife. Imagine the amount of offense and lust that you have to go after your guru's wife. So his guru is who? Brihaspati. So Brihaspati is actually son of Angiras, one of the 7. Then Brihaspati's wife is Tara. So he kidnaps Tara and he has sex with her. She also willingly accepted that union and she became pregnant. Then there was a big fight between the demigods and the demons. Why? Because now Brihaspati got very upset and he took all the devatas headed by Indra to attack Chandra. And seeing this opportunity, Sukracharya, he came to the picture. And Sukracharya said, I will help you. And he joined with. So you see, there's also temporary friendship, temporary enmity. The demons and demigods are enemies, right? But here Chandra is becoming a temporary friend of Sukracharya and the demons. So even all these politics are there in the heavenly planet. So much more politics. Yeah. Yeah, but the devotees. Yeah. Yes. So somehow they are still devotees. They worship Vishnu. They know that these materialists they don't know. Yeah. Can say that, but because they are also temporary, they are not permanent in their positions. They are not pure, so they are also prone to doing these things.
So something that happens every.
Yeah.
It's like an internal bastard. You can say, right?
Yes, it happens. So what happens next? Once they have a child. So I mean, the lady was pregnant. So there was a big battle going on, a big chaos in the universe. Brahma was informed about this, and Brahma immediately came and said, "Stop this nonsense. What's going on?" And then he separated both the parties, and then he called the lady, and then he said, how come you did such an unchaste thing?" And then she was pregnant. So Brihaspati got very depressed and he very upset, and he said, "Never mind, you give birth to the child immediately and come back to me." He was willing to forgive her. He said, I won't curse you, don't worry. Then the child came out. The child is Buddha, Mercury. So Mercury is the astrology. So I know this story because of astrology also. Mercury is the son of the moon. So Mercury is also enemy to the moon, because when the child was born, sorry, not enemy. The mother Tara, the child immediately said, "Who's my father? Tell me now." She was not giving any answer. She was very ashamed. She was silent. And Brahma said, okay, you come. She personally talked to her. And then there was a fight between Brihaspati and Chandra again because they wanted the son. Brihaspati said, no, my son. Chandra said, no, my son. She agreed. So the thing is, when Chandra kidnapped her, she also agreed to the union. She was happy to have a child from the Kshatriya rather than Brahmana. And then there was a big argument going on, and then Brahman asked her personally, who is your father? She said Chandra. So Chandra took the child. And there is Mercury, Buddha. And from Buddha comes the son Pururava. From Pururava's sons comes the, if you go down line, the Kauravas. Puru Kauravas. They are those. So you see how the dynasty is coming. So what I'm trying to say is, of course, another son of Pururava comes the Brigu dynasty, where Parashurama is. So this is how the situation is there, even the heavenly planet. They are going after. So there are actually three kinds of women. Prabhupada mentioned in one of the purport. Of course, this is not mentioning the devotee. It's not mentioning the devotee women, the chaste women. It's talking about three kinds of women. This verse. So it says here, this is from the chapter of Krishna. Sukadeva Goswami is giving the explanation of the autumn season. So he says that though the clouds are well-wishing friends of all beings, the lightning, fickle in its affinities, move from one group of clouds to another. So lightning is always moving, right? This is called Unchaste. The woman who is going from one man to another, like a lusty woman, unfaithful even to virtuous men. So today's verse is talking about this kind of women, like lightning, going here, going there, going here. And this person who is the merchant in the forest, which is us, we are searching for that kind of association. You know. So here Prabhupada comments, during the rainy season, the lightning appears in one group of clouds and then immediately to another group of clouds. This phenomenon is compared to lusty women, who does not fix her mind on one man. The cloud is compared to a qualified person. So the cloud is like the husband. Because it pours rain and gives sustenance to many people, the man who is qualified similarly gives sustenance to many living creatures, such as family members or many workers in business. Unfortunately, his whole life can be disturbed by a wife who divorces him. When the husband is disturbed, the whole family is ruined, the children are dispersed, or the business is closed, and everything is affected. It is therefore recommended that a woman desiring to advance in Krishna consciousness peacefully live with a husband, and that the couple not separated under any condition. The husband and wife should control sex indulgence and concentrate their minds on Krishna consciousness, so their life may be successful. So you see, today's verse is talking about the honey, is talking about such women. And if you go to, there's three women kind of mentioned: Sarvini, Kamini, Pumschari. Sarvini means she wants independence, she wants to roam around. Kamini means she goes and try to purposely attract the man. Jai Sri Sri Radha. And of course, now we are talking about the Pumschari. So now you may wonder, this is the lusty affairs that are happening in the world. Then how come Krishna also did some lusty affairs? Krishna also was like a debauch, right? What Krishna did? In the middle of the night, he went and enjoyed with another man's wife, right? What is the answer for that? So the point is, Krishna is not an ordinary man. We are all actually wives of Krishna. Bhratur, Bharya. There are many kinds of relationship we have with the Lord. Right? Sesha, Seshi, servant master. There's 9 actually Navavida Sambandha. This is spoken by Swami Pillai Lokacharya. He says that we and Krishna have 9 kinds of sambandha. And one of it is Bhratul Bharya, husband and wife. He is my husband, he is my, I'm the wife. And also another one is Pitu Putra, son, father. So in terms of husband and wife, the gopis are all the wives of Krishna. So he was not enjoying them. They are meant for his enjoyment. We are actually trying to enjoy Krishna's property. Right? So if you see here, Kachit Saman Mukundena Sarvagati Sarvajatir Amishitha Unine Pujitena Priyada Sadhu Sadhava Iti Tat Eva Dhruvam Unine Tashay Manam Chabhava Adhar. Sorry, wrong verse. It's 39. So, anyone who faithfully hears and describes the Lord's playful affairs with the young gopis of Vrindavan will attain Lord's pure devotional service. Ramya Khachit Upasanam Prajavado. There is no higher worship than the worship of the gopis. How the gopis are worshipping. Thus, he will quickly become sober and conquer lust, disease of the heart. So here, if you study the lusty pastimes of Krishna and the gopis through the bona fide spiritual master, your lust will be removed. You see? So you must understand whatever you see in the material world is very perverted. But the original is happening in the spiritual world. Unless it's happening in the spiritual world, how it can happen here? Where is the desire to be having, the thought, the desire to enjoy with the women, the girlfriend, lover? Where is it coming from? Because Krishna has it, but that is the pure platform of love. Here is the platform of lust. Krishnendriya Priti Vancha Prema. Atmendriya Priti Vancha Kama. We are doing it for lust. We want to enjoy illicit relationships. But when you know Krishna also does it, that is pure love. So he says that like a thorn. You take a thorn, when you have a thorn stuck to your feet, what do? Another thorn to remove this thorn, right? So the thorn of lust can be removed by studying the love of Krishna's affairs, loving affairs of Krishna. So even the gopis, they were approaching Krishna with lust. Kama Krishna Karma Arpane. They were approaching Krishna with lust only, but they became so purified that even Lord Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya, among all the Leelas of Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Leela was very special because he will never associate with women. He will not make fun, he will not make joke also. Only maybe at the childhood, one, two times he was doing some pastimes like that. But as he grew up, he will not even speak to women very openly. Such a sannyasi, such a strict person he was. That person is saying, Arachi Bhagavan Rajay Satanya Tat Hama Vrindavan Namya Kachit Upasana Vrajavado. The greatest worshippers of the Lord is Upasana. The Upasana is worship. Is the gopis. And if you take shelter of their method of worshipping, you will attain Krishna. So here he is glorifying the Braja gopis, who are women, right? So the point is, when men and women come together, if the connection is not Krishna consciousness, then it becomes lusty affairs. And then you become entangled in this material world, which is what's spoken in this verse here. This is spoken by Kashyapa to his wife Diti. Okay, so it's easier. The purport, I'm going to just show this part. So the husband, okay, so I think better we read from the beginning, then it's more clear. The natural instinct for women is to enjoy the material world. She induces her husband to enjoy this world by satisfying his tongue, belly, and genitals, which are called Jiva, Uttara, Vashna. The woman is expert in cooking palatable dishes so that she can easily satisfy her husband in eating. When one eats nicely, his belly is satisfied. And as soon as the belly is satisfied, the genitals become strong. Especially when the husband is accustomed to eating meat and drinking wine. and similar passionate themes, he suddenly becomes sexually inclined. It should be understood that sexual inclination are not meant for spiritual progress, but for gliding down to hell. Thus, Kasyapa Muni considered his situation, and lamented. Because now what is happening in this chapter? Diti is asking him for child. Why she wants child? Because of Indra, the demigods, Vishnu came and killed Hiranyakashipu Hiranyaksha. So she was very upset. She wanted to take revenge on Indra. You see how attached she is. She knows that Hiranyakashipu Hiranyaksha caused such great devastation to the universe, and yet she was upset that they died. So the attachment of the mother, you see. In fact, she kept them 100 years in the womb, 100 celestial years. She was saying, I will keep them as much as I can, because if they come out, they'll cause devastation. Despite knowing all this, she was upset that Indra made Vishnu kill. You see the intelligence here. So she is praying to Kasyapa. She did many nice things in this chapter. She took care of him so nicely, everything. Then Kasyapa was pleased. He said, what do you want? Then she said, I want a child which can kill Indra. Then Kasyapa lamented, oh, see, I became attached to my wife. Now I have to become sinful by killing Indra, by giving her this blessing. Of course, Kasyapa was smart. He indirectly cheated her. He asked her to do some prayo vrata. This vrata will satisfy Vishnu. And because she was doing the satisfaction of Vishnu, she became purified and she lost the enmity to Indra. So Kasyapa also was intelligent. He knows how to control the wife, how to engage the wife. Even though the wife was having this selfish desire. So in other words, to be a householder is very risky unless one is trained and the wife is follower of the husband. So in this case, Kasyapa was trained. And the wife also was listening. Just that she had this envy in the heart. The husband should be trained from the very beginning of life. Kaumarat Acharat Prajnyo Dharman Bhagavata. During the time of Brahmacharya or student life, Brahmachari should be taught to be expert in Bhagavad Dharma, devotional service. Then when he marries, if his wife is faithful to her husband and follows him in such life, the relationship between husband and wife is very desirable. So the training is important. The training to understand I am not the body, I am Atma, I am soul, I am meant for the satisfaction of Krishna and not my senses. However, a relationship between husband and wife without spiritual consciousness but strictly for sense gratification is not at all good. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam Short 3 that especially in Kali Yuga, Dampate Viruchir Hetu, relationship between husband and wife will be based on sexual power. So when this is not satisfied, this is predicted in the Bhagavatam. Kali Yuga, what will happen? There will be a lot of divorces. Because I am just getting married. Marriage will happen just by agreement only. There is no such thing as your parents come and meet, seeing the match, seeing if the person is compatible, seeing that they are in the same goal in life. Just by agreement they will get married. By disagreement they will divorce, and all based on sex life. Therefore, the householder in this Kali Yuga is extremely dangerous unless both wife and husband take to Krishna consciousness. So the women and men, their association becomes dangerous if they are not trained in Krishna consciousness. But if there is training of Krishna consciousness, then the union, of course, it's still going to be tough. It's not going to be easy like Brahmachari life. Like Nithai Prabhu was saying that if you're Brahmachari, 70% chance of going back. Guaranteed. But a householder is even more difficult because you still have to worry about so many things. So, but anyway, what to do? Most people are going to be in that situation. So, better to get proper devotees association and training. So, if you see, the senses has to be controlled. If you see this verse here, it's very interesting here actually. If you look at the purport, that Kapila Dev speaking to his mother. So in this verse, he's saying that the senses are symbolic representation of the demigods. But you know, the hands are controlled by Indra, you know that? Somebody said his hands was beating somebody, he said, no, I did it, Indra did it. Right? There's no story like that. So the senses are actually controlled by devatas, the demigods. I think the eye is by Agni, or the sun and the moon, like that. Right? And their natural inclination to work under the direction of Vedic injunctions. So the demigods are meant to be controlled by whom? Who are they under the control of? Vishnu. So the senses are representative of demigod, the mind is representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. The mind's natural duty is to serve, and the service spirit is engaged in devotional service to the Personality of Godhead without any motive that is far better than even salvation. So the mind, which is a representative of Vishnu, is meant for the service of Vishnu. What we are doing now? Now we are crying, we cannot control our senses. Senses are running after sex life, this, that. Why? Because mind is not controlled. By right, your default setting is your mind is supposed to be controlling the senses. And the senses are controlled when they are engaged in service of Krishna. That is called Rishikesha, master of senses. So you see here, Prabhupada is writing, the senses of the living entity are always engaged in some occupation, either in activities prescribed in injunctions of the Vedas or material activities. The natural inclination of the senses is to work for something, and the mind is the center of senses. The mind is actually the leader of the senses. Therefore, it is called Sattva. Similarly, the leader of all demigods who are engaged in the activities in the material world, the sun god, moon god, Indra, and others is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is engaging all of them in the work. It is stated in the Vedic literature that the demigods are different limbs of the universal bodies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Our senses are also controlled by different demigods. Our senses are representation of various demigods, and the mind is representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The senses led by the mind act under the influence of the demigods, and the service is ultimately aimed at the Personality of Godhead. The senses are in their natural position. This is a natural position. The Lord is called Rishikesha, for he is actually the proprietor, the ultimate master of the senses. Senses and the mind are naturally inclined to work, but when they are materially contaminated, they work for material benefit or for the service of the demigods. Although actually they are meant for the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when you are serving the demigods separately, it's like trying to serve your senses. I want this, I want that. You're asking, because you want to satisfy these senses, you're going to this demigod to ask that benediction, right? But if you know that the aim is Krishna, you will serve the stomach, which will serve everything. You serve Krishna, all the demigods are served. You serve the mind properly, the Krishna consciousness, all the senses are also served. So how to do this? Why am I bringing this point? Is because this is how we are going out of control. We are in a material forest, we are suffering, and the senses are running wild, mind is running wild. But if you can just serve the Lord through the guidance of spiritual master, by the association of devotees, then easily everything gets controlled. Then you know how to navigate your way out of the forest with the guidance of the Guru. Understand? If not, we are going to be trapped inside this forest. So we have seen the example of this unchaste association, taking the honey, trying to enjoy the honeybee. Whereas if one is a devotee, you know what he will do? He will take the honey. He will make some nice sweet and offer to the Lord. So this is how the devotee engages. Even though he might be trapped in the same forest, he will see how he can use whatever is there in the service of the Lord. The Rishikesha, he's using everything in the senses, the mind, everything in the service of the Lord. Then he will overcome this bondage of material existence. So, as we know, how to do that? Very simple verse everyone knows, spoken by Yamunacharya. The purport of this 260. Yadhavati mama cheta Krishna padara vrindanavaras damati yudha Udyatam rantamasi tadavati varanari sangame smaryamane bhavati mukha vihara sushtu nishtivanamcha. Since my mind has been engaged in the service of the Lord, see, we're talking about the mind, right? Because he engaged in the service of the Lord, the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna, I have been enjoying an ever new transcendental humor. Whenever I think of sex life with a woman, my face at once turns from it and I speed at the top. So no longer interested in sex life. Even as grihasthas, Many devotees who are grihasthas, they were not interested in sex life. They were union together to serve the Lord only. Like Pandavas, right? You think they were having, she has 5 husbands. You think they are having sex life? No. 1 year, 1 husband she's with. And that also for procreation only. Draupadi. One of the disciples of Ramanujacharya, Kuratalvar. Kuratalvar is actually a representative of the Srivatsa mark. Srivatsa Amsa. He was, he was such a great devotee. He is actually considered the best disciple of Ramanujacharya. And his life, you know what happened? He got married. Actually, he was not interested in marriage also. He was super wealthy, very wealthy. He was doing Annadan every day, thousands of people. Thousands and thousands of people, Annadan. How much money he had? That much of money. But he was using that money to serve the Bhagavatas, the devotees of the Lord. Then, one day what happened, he was going by this house, the person inside, father and mother were crying. So he went and asked why you were crying. Because devotee is always, he's so compassionate. When he saw the frog, the snake was catching the frog, he became so compassionate, he started to cry. And he was lamenting how material life is so, one animal is eating another animal. So he is very compassionate. So what happened? He was seeing the father and mother crying. Then he went inside the house, asked what happened. He said, my daughter cannot get married. Why? Because the astrologer said that she has some dosha. Whoever she gets married to, the husband will die. So nobody will accept her in marriage. Then he said, okay, I will accept, no problem. Then they said, how you can accept? If you are such a great devotee, we cannot see you die marrying our daughter. How we can allow this? He said, no, I will marry your daughter. But we will not have marriage means what? Center of marriage life is sex life. We will not have sex life at all. We will be husband and wife only for the sake of serving the senses of the Lord. Nothing else. I promise you. And she is a devotee. She understands the importance of not having this sex level. Of course, by right, Grihastha should have child, but in this case they could not. Because according to the astrology, he will die. Right? So she agreed. He also agreed. They got married. And they were doing double service now. Serving the Lord. Just see how the union between them. And in fact, what happened, he was very special devotee, you see. Now, what happened, his house is 16 kilometers from Kanchipuram. It's not so far. So, he had a huge house. Once the Annadan is finished, maybe he finish at night 10 o'clock. He will close the doors of the house. The door will be closing, will be so loud. Such a loud sound. The bells will be ringing. The door sound will be so creaking, Then the sound can go to the Perumal, Vadadaraj Perumal, Kanchipuram. The deity there is, the Lord is standing, Lord Vishnu is standing for Vadadaraj. Vadadaraj means he is giving vara, benediction. So the Lord and Lakshmi Devi, they are having conversation. Oh, did you hear the sound? Our devotee just finished his Annadan Seva, he is closing the door. So it's past the Lord's sleeping time also. So there was one devotee, Tirukachinambi, he was very, he is able to talk to the Lord. He is fanning the Lord every time. He can talk, have a conversation with the Lord. So this Lord, he heard the conversation of the Perumal and Lakshmi, and then he came and told Kuratalvan that, I heard this conversation between them. They are glorifying how you are doing such great service. They can hear the door of your house being closed. And then immediately he became very shedding tears. If we heard something like that, we would be like, wow, I'm such a great devotee, The Lord is talking about me, how great I am. No, he said, how I am so in misfortune that my noise created by the house, the noise is disturbing the Lord's sleep. Right? What an offender I am. What am I doing? I'm supposed to satisfy the Lord, but I am here not satisfying the Lord. So what is the use of my wealth? Give up everything. So he donated all the wealth and he went to surrender to Ramanujacharya with his wife. If anybody will do that, he gave everything away. And then while going in the forest at night to Sri Rangam, The wife was feeling anxiety, fear. He said, why you are looking so fearful? What are you having in your hand? He said, no, I am having the gold plate. Why you have this gold plate? Because how will you eat the food? He said, because you're carrying the gold in your hand. You are scared somebody will come and rob you. So you're holding on to all these things for what? You're attached to this wealth. That's why he's going in fear. He took it and threw it away. So like that they carry on serving. He surrendered to Ramanujacharya. He became a disciple. He served him throughout his life with his wife. So this is an example of chaste wife. And you know what happened? Around 89, 90 years old, they had 2 children. So obviously they cannot have sex life at that age. So that is because the Lord bestowed them the mercy. Because the wife always thinks, I want a child, right? But I cannot get a child. So one day what happened, he was very hungry and he did not want to disturb the devotees to bring prasadam and all. He thought let them distribute. He was starving. So the Lord himself arranged somebody to come and give him the prasadam. And that prasadam which was eaten by the wife, she conceived by the prasadam. There was no sexual relationship. She conceived by the Lord's prasad. And 2 sons were born. And Ramanujacharya named them Parashara Bhatta and Vedavyas Bhatta. So Parashara Muni and Vedavyas. And of course these 2 sons are very illustrious. Parashara Bhatta, he wrote a commentary of Vishnu Sahasranam, very great devotee of the Lord. So many pastimes he had with the Lord also. So in this story you can see how the wife, husband-wife, connected in Krishna consciousness. Wife, chastity of the wife. Whereas this verse we are comparing with the unchaste wife. And how we are entrapped. Because our mind is unchaste, we will search for things which are unchaste also, right? But the mind is controlled, engaged in the service of the Lord, you will dedicate your time and efforts to serve the Lord. Right? So like that in our Bharatam, there are many stories which you can see. You can compare, one person is chaste, one unchaste, how one person's life became, how another person's life became. Like Ajamil, right? Had a chaste wife, abandoned her, went after this honey. After that, what happened? Fell down with the prostitute. Until in the last point of his life, Yamadutas came to catch him. Somehow he was saved because of because he chanted Narayana, the sun's name. And if you see the story of Srimad Bhagavatam story, I'm not going to tell the whole story. Short summary. There was this glories of Srimad Bhagavatam in Padma Purana, right? So this person called Atmadev, Atmadev was a very nice Brahmana doing a lot of service, preaching. And then he had his wife called Dunduli. Dunduli is not a good wife, not so chaste. Of course, she's not unchaste that she goes around with men, but she's not a good woman. Character is not good. She don't want children. Atmadev wants children very badly. Then he is very depressed. Why I cannot get children? One day he goes to the forest. He thought, let me suicide. What's the point living if I don't have children? One Rishi came. The Rishi said, what do you want? He said, I want children. The Rishi said, you will not have children for 7 lifetimes. You're going to suffer anyway. Don't ask for this. He said, no, I still want this. So this is what happens when we go to Krishna or we go to devotees, we pray, I want this. That is actually a big problem. Because whatever you want may be a big problem for your life. The Lord knows better what you should not have, what you should have. Our prayer should be, whatever Lord you want to bestow upon me, you give me that, you show me the way to do it. So we should not ask them, I want this, I want that. That is false ego. So like that he was begging, and then the Rishi said, okay, I'll give you, but your son will be there will be a big problem for your life. So he gave some mango. He said, you give your wife this mango, when she eats the mango, the child will be born. So when he went to the house to give to the wife was very upset because she didn't want child. Because she knows carrying a child in the womb is very painful. How will I survive? What if somebody robbed my house? How will I run away? how to keep the house nice and clean, shining if I'm pregnant. So many excuses she was giving. So finally, she cheated the husband. She took the mango, she gave to her sister who was pregnant. So of course, she didn't give the sister. She asked the sister what to do. Sister said, "You take the mango, you give to the cow. Give it to the cow. I will give my child to you. So you pretend that this child is yours." So she had to pretend like she's pregnant. And then once the sister gave birth, that child, she said, "This is the boy." Then the boy name is called Dundubi. And he was a big rascal. He was a thief, he was killing insects. He was a small boy, he was doing a lot of havoc. Very bad character like the auntie and the mother. Then the cow which had the mango, the child was born, and the child was Gokarna. The cow gave birth to a child. So this boy, his name is Gokarna because he has a cow ears. And he was very pious because the mango, the cow had. And then the village, everybody was celebrating. Oh, now you have two sons. One is Dundubi, one is Gokarna. So Gokarna grew up to be a very great devotee, very nice for the father. Other guy was just causing misery after misery after misery. And then as he grew up, he started stealing. He started beating up the father and mother. He took their wealth also. So one day the father couldn't take it. And Gokarna told the father, "You better renounce. Go to the forest. Enough of seeing all this. You take to Krishna consciousness completely." Mother was very upset with the son. She could not take it. She committed suicide. Jumped into the well and she died. See how terrible the life became because of one son like that. So this Dundubi, he was such a rascal. He went. So this was why I'm telling the story. He went after this divorced woman. So he had 5 wives who were prostitutes. And then he was stealing here, stealing there, was stealing from the king also. How much he stole? So much he stole, so much of wealth he was keeping. Then one day the 5 wives were discussing, if we don't kill him, he will get killed by the king. Because he's committing so much crime, the soldiers will come and catch him, he'll go to jail. If he goes to jail, we will lose all the wealth. Better we kill this guy. We take the wealth, and anyway nobody will find him after his death. Who's going to punish him? They know he died. So one day when he was sleeping, you see how he put his trust, he gave his heart to all these debauched women. He also is a debauchee. He's a big rascal, he deserved it also. One day when he was sleeping, they tied him up and they tortured him, stabbing him, killing him. He was not dying. And then they took a burning firewood, they put in his mouth. And the firewood burned and he burned inside. How much painful is that? And he died, he became a ghost. And then the wives took all the wealth and ran away. So you see whatever happened in his life, you see in the verse. Then what happened? The brother, Gokarna came, did the final rites, did the funeral, everything. Went to Kaya, did the Shraddha Puja, everything done. And then he came back home, suddenly this big ghostly figure was sitting there. Who are you? I'm your brother. See, I thought I did the puja, what happened? See, I'm too sinful, I cannot come out of this. You find a way to help me, I'm suffering like anything. So brother went everywhere, asked brahmanas this, asked so many methods, do this, do that, everything tried, nothing happened. Finally, because he was so pious, right? Sun God himself came and told him, you do Bhagavad Gita. You chant the Bhagavad. Call everybody, the village, everybody, recite the Bhagavad. So they came, sit down, the big recitation was going on, and then they tied a bamboo cord with 7 ropes, 7 knots. So every day, the bamboo, the knot will open. That means the ghost is telling, I'm here. Once one, because of course they did it for 7 days, like Bhagavad Saptah. Then eventually the ghost got liberated by hearing Bhagavatam. So how you can see here, how having one pious son in the family liberate the entire family. And such a sinful person like this also can be liberated by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam by the mouth of a pure devotee. And how, if there's association with such unchaste connection, you see what the son also became, right? So many things are there. In conclusion, we have to be being serious, trying to come out of this material forest, and not be entangled in this. and keep hearing. The thing is, you have to keep hearing in the association of devotees. Because when we hear only, we get the encouragement to practice it. We get the conviction, let me take up devotional service, let me not do this, let me not go in this way. Yeah. So why these stories are there? So many stories are there to teach us how we should behave, how we should, if something happened in our life, we should think, oh, this happened. Like now, when Yudhishthira was in the forest, they were lamenting. Pandavas in the forest, they were feeling sad. But rishis used to come and tell, somebody suffered even more than you. Nala and Damayanti. So they will tell stories of various people. Just to show them how their life was, and we can learn from their life. So these narrations, hearing such narrations are very, very important. Hearing and practicing also in our lives. Then we will know what we will not waste our time climbing trying to find this honey. Right? Why do you want to waste time? You will find the real honey, which is Bhagavad Katha. What is the verse? The Sudha, something you say. Sudha, something. Srimad Bhagavatam. It's like the real nectar is that Srimad Bhagavatam. What is it about? 29? Naitat Vijnana Jignaso Nyatpayam Avasisyate Vitvagi Yusham Amritam Patavyam Navasisyate. When an inquisitive person comes to understand his knowledge, he has nothing further to know. After all, one who has drunk the most palatable nectar cannot remain thirsty. Nice. So just by knowing about Krishna, everything becomes known. All the pleasure you are searching for is in the lotus feet of Krishna. Right? And once you get that pleasure, little bit only, not even so much, one tiny drop. Swalpam apiyasya dharmasya trayato mahato bhaya. The greatest danger is gone. Just a little bit mercy. So, I think I'll end the class here. If you have any comments, was it?
Most very good, but the audience is not very good.
Oh.
Because quality of hearing is not same. So again is spoken about.
So Vishwanath was saying the story he was telling earlier, the ghost was Atmadev and Dundukari Sari. The ghosts were delivered, but the people in the audience did not get delivered. Because he's saying the quality of hearing was not there, the faith was not there. Then he read the Bhagavatam and they got. So faithful hearing. Shushuyo Shraddha Dhanasya, with Shraddha, we must hear. Vasudeva Katha, we must hear with Katha rules. Okay. So, we will stop here then. Jai Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Shri Prabhupada.